Hey guys, Bob Black here, Bob on Bass. Thanks for joining me here today. I hope everybody is doing okay. I know this is a terrible thing with this coronavirus going on, but we do have time now, everybody being at home. It's a good time to get out your bass and practice. A couple of weeks ago, I did a video about how to get started on walking bass lines. A lot of people enjoyed the video. They learned a lot. But some people said that there was too many chords, it was a little bit confusing. So we're going to do that again using only 3 chords this time. We're going to make it a little easier to start with, but we're also going to add some scale tones, which we didn't do last time. So stay with me, I know you're going to dig it. Alright, so this is the chord progression that we're going to be using here. Only 3 chords this time. We're going to make it a little easier to follow. We've got D minor 7, G7, C, and then this symbol, if you don't know what that means repeat the previous measure. So in other words, it's another measure of C here, commonly known as a 2-5-1 progression. And we're going to do walking over this progression. And it's going to be good. You're going to enjoy it. So what we're going to do is we're going to just start out playing the roots of the chords. So we've got D for 4 counts. We've got G for 4 counts, or 1 measure. And then we've got C for 2 measures, 4 counts each. Okay? So let's give that a go. Make sure you got your bass with you. Okay, I think you got that pretty simple, right? Just roots. One more time. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to make it a little more interesting. We're going to add the 5th degree, the 5th. So we got a D here. The 5th of the D scale is A. We got an A here. Okay, we got an A here. We also got a D here, so we can play any of those notes. Okay, on the G7 we got the root is G. We got the 5th here, which is D. We got a root here, which is G. Another 5th here. Okay, so any of those notes will work. So roots and 5ths. Let's do it. And 5ths only. roots and fifths. G7, C. One more time. D minor 7, G7, and C. Okay, I think you got it. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to add approach notes. Once again, here's our chord progression. Okay. And so what we can do is, on the last count of any measure, we can approach the next chord from a half step above or below the target chord. So D minor 7, G7 would be the target chord, okay? So on the last count, or the fourth beat of this measure, right, we could play an A flat, which is a half step above the G, or we could play a F sharp, right? F sharp, because we're going to G, which is a half step below the G, right? Okay. Then on the last count of this measure, our target chord is the C chord, right? So we could play a D flat going to the C, or we could play a B going to the C, okay? Then on the last count of this measure, we're back going to the D, that's our target chord, so we could play an E flat, or we could play a C sharp going to the D, okay? Now this technique, we don't use this all the time in every measure, but it does add some spice to your bass line, as you'll see. So let's give that a go. Okay, your turn. Approach D, approach G, approach C, approach D, G, approach C. One more time. All right, how's it going? You get, and it might take some work. You got to practice these things, okay? All right, so now we got roots, fifths, we got approach notes. The next thing we're going to add is chord tones, okay? So the first chord is a D minor 7. The notes are D, F, A, and C, okay? Then we got a G7. Notes are G, B, D, and F. And then finally, we've got a C chord. We could play a C major 7, or we could play a C6, or just a C triad. Well, let's do the C major 7. We've got C, E, G, B. Okay? So now we've got roots, fifths, approach notes, and chord tones. Let's give it a go. Your turn. Roots, fifths, approach notes, chord tones. Bass line's starting to sound a little interesting now. D minor 7, G7, C, D minor 7, G7, C. Okay? Okay, so the last technique that we're going to use today is scale tones. Okay? So the first chord that we're going to be doing is a D minor 7. Here's the scale that goes with that. This is called the D Dorian scale. And it's D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D. Then the next scale is G7. The next chord is G7, and that takes a Mixolydian scale, which goes like this. G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Okay? Those are the notes in the G Mixolydian. And then finally, the C chord takes a C major scale, also known as an Ionian mode, C Ionian. And that's C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Okay? So now we can add, we've got roots, fifths, approach notes, we've got chord tones, and we've got some scale tones, okay? So we can incorporate that into our playing, make the bass line even more interesting. Let's go ahead and do that. One more time. Let's go once more. All right. Okay, guys. So, what I suggest you do is go on YouTube, find a 2-5-1 in any key, it doesn't matter. This one happened to be in C, for bass players. In other words, they eliminate the bass and play along. And you can gradually up the speed till you're very, very comfortable with doing this. And then, like I tell all of my students actually, you've got to be able to do this and play through any tune that I put in front of you. But I think doing these 3 chords is a good place to get you started and give you plenty to work on. Okay, I want to thank you for joining me here today on my channel. Please do hit like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell icon so you can see more videos like this. Anything I can do to help, I'm willing to do. Some students and some subscribers had asked if I could do something on the modes, and of course I'd be happy to do that. But please be well, be careful, keep your distance from people, and stay safe, and let's get through this thing together. And thanks.